Today's Bible reading is taken from book of Exodus chapter 12 verses 1 to 8 and then 11 to 14. Second reading, St. Paul's first letter to Corinthians chapter 11 verses 23 to 26. And today's Gospel according to John chapter 13 verses 1 to 15. Books of Exodus chapter 12 verses 1 to 8 and then 11 to 14. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in Egypt. This month is to be the first month of the year for you. Give this instruction to the whole community of Israel. On the 10th day of this month, each man must choose either a lamb or a young goat for his household. If his family is too small to eat a whole animal, he and his next door neighbor may share an animal in the proportion to the number of people and the amount that each person can eat. You may choose either a sheep or a goat, but it must be a 1-year-old male without any defect. Then, on the evening of the 14th day of the month, the whole community of Israel will kill the animals. The people are to take some of the blood and put it on the doorpost and above the doors of the houses in which the animals are to be eaten. That night the meat is to be roasted and eaten with bitter herbs and with bread made without yeast. You are to eat it quickly, for you are to be dressed for travel with your sandals on your feet and your stick in your hand. It is the Passover festival to honor me, the Lord. On that night I will go through the land of Egypt, killing every firstborn male, both human and animal, and punishing all the gods of Egypt. I am the Lord. The blood on the doorpost will be a sign to mark the houses in which you will live. When I see the blood, I will pass over you and will not harm you when I punish the Egyptians. You must celebrate this day as a religious festival to remind you of what I, the Lord, have done. Celebrate it for all time to come. Today's second reading, St. Paul's first letter to Corinthians, chapter 11, verses 23 to 26. For I received from the Lord the teaching that I pass on to you, that the Lord Jesus, on the night he was betrayed, took a piece of bread, gave thanks to God, broke it, and said, "This is my body which is for you. Do this in memory of me." In the same way, after the supper, he took the cup and said, "This cup is God's new covenant sealed with my blood. Whenever you drink it, do so in memory of me." This means that every time you eat this bread and drink from this cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. Today's Gospel according to John, chapter 13, verses 1 to 15. It was now the day before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. He had always loved those in the world who were his own, and he loved them to the very end. Jesus and his disciples were at supper. The devil had already put it into the heart of Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, the thought of betraying Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had given him complete power. He knew that he had come from God. He had come from God and was going to God. So he rose from the table, took off his outer garment and tied a towel around his waist. Then he poured some water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and dry them with a towel round his waist. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Are you going to wash my feet, Lord?" Jesus answered him, "You do not understand now what I am doing, but you will understand later." Peter declared, "Never at any time will you wash my feet. If I do not wash your feet," Jesus answered, "you will no longer be my disciple." Simon Peter answered, "Lord, do not wash only my feet then. Wash my hands and head too." Jesus said, "Anyone who has had a bath is completely clean and does not have to wash himself except for his feet. All of you are clean, all except one." Jesus already knew who was going to betray him. That is why he said, all of you except one are clean. After Jesus had washed their feet, he put his outer garment back on and returned to his place at the table. Do you understand what I have just done to you? He asked. You call me teacher and Lord, and it is right that you do so, because that is what I am. I, your Lord and teacher, have just washed your feet. You then should wash one another's feet. I have set an example for you, so that you will do just what I have done for you. I am telling you the truth. No slave is greater than his master, and no messenger is greater than the one who sent him. Now, today's Gospel according to John. Praise the Lord Jesus Christ.